Victory or death, you say? Is this 2 cost strong enough to keep without a 1-drop? I guess it is. I guess so, chat. Not playing Bran with new Bran in deck? Yeah, that is true. That is true. Ah, I see. You've brought Spagooty. This is the first time I've like disenchanted a signature because I just really liked the golden that much more. Like the signature for this is so stupid. Whereas like this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I would love for this one to be like popping out of the frame and stuff. Lotheb and Leroy were what I got with Bran. I have to adjust the size of my thingamajig. Guess I'll do this. Ba ba ba. All right. There, that's okay. Sufficient. Stop and smell the spagooty, as they say. Alright, get my Draenei out of the deck. If I do this, we can get through that thing. Do I like those? I like the Leroy one. I like the Lotheb one's fun to have, especially as a Lotheb fan. You know, like it's kind of cool from a completionist standpoint. I just don't really care about completionist type things anymore. So like having a Lotheb collection doesn't really do much for me, but definitely gonna keep it. So like I have the diamond one, I have the signature one, and the golden one. The golden one, like, I guess I could probably just get rid of at this point because like I'm never going to use it over the diamond one, and yeah, I'm only keeping it because like, you know, that copy of Lotheb was such a special thing to me for so long. And now like, you know, Hearthstone cards aren't that special to me, so I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. Probably nothing. Hi, Mr. Boo. Is Reynolds Hunter going? Well, those are words you've said to me. I'll say that much. Ah, that's the whole reason we're playing this right now. What are you doing, me, ham? You big ham. Could do this. And this. Is that good? Beep, beep, boop. I don't know if that actually prevents anything. Are we just doing one deck today and playing Arena tomorrow? I don't know what we're doing next. So today I'm gonna do 2 videos worth of stuff and might switch decks in between depending on how this goes. And then either tomorrow or the next day I'll do 2 more, which may end up being Arena depending. I haven't actually taken that close a look at the Arena stuff. I don't know if it's like really sweet or not. Would Zephyrs be lethal? No. From what I heard, the arena changes are more positive than negative. It's like a new thing, so that's cool too. Ooh, there's Zephy's. Might be a turn too late. It may in fact be a turn too late. We'll find out. Uh-huh. Yeah. What you doing over there? What did they change? I haven't taken a close enough look at it. I do not really know. Alright, at least they don't have an Astalor out. Yeah, we're safe from that. So I could play this and one of these, and then Zeph for Savage Roar, which would be for 8 damage, 9 damage, and 6 is not enough. So let's figure out something else to do.
Something to consider.
I'm going to do this and this. I will have 1 mana left over to either play this or to use this. Or to use this. I think it'll be this. All right, cool. Have I seen any new expansion cards? Have they shown any new expansion cards? I haven't been paying any attention. Zero attention. Yesterday, I was at my parents for so long that I my video went out late, like by half an hour. Oh, Zeddy said he's seen some behind the scenes. I do frequently see things behind the scenes. It's very possible that I've seen some new expansion cards. Chat, is this lethal? Answer me that. Answer me that, chat. Do you think we have lethal here? Something about it seems like, what? Where's my bloodlust? I understand this is probably lethal regardless, right? But, yeah. But like, when I come to a party looking for lethal and looking for bloodlust specifically, and you give me non-bloodlust, stresses me out, Zephy's. Pulled Goldrin from packs. Any advice on Big Beast version of this, or would it be too slow? Someday I may play Big Beast. The very concept of it is very boring. But I may do it. And then you'll know. A nice chatter has been asking for Big Beast for a while, so would like to oblige them at some point. Even Shaman. It is Beholster, it is. Beholst, the new brand.
No one's going to believe this.
What about Jungle Giants 2, where Barney makes your opponent's minions cost 0? What a twist. That would be a twist. How would you rework OG Hunter quests to be good in modern Hearthstone? I would give the I'll give the Raptors like at least rush, but possibly charge. The Carnassa has rush now, right? Pretty sure. So yeah, if all the Raptors had rush, that would be pretty good. It might not be like, you know, it might be standard, like it would certainly be standard good, but yeah, it might be like more wild fun. It's just kind of like they're 1 for 3/2, draw a card if and only if you've done other stupid things isn't very strong. So Galvadon quest predictions. I predict that no one will ever talk about Galvadon again. So, I don't know. You know what would be really cool is if they gave the Galvadon quest to Death Knight. And then, you know, rose it from the dead or something. Rose it. Because that was the last Kaleidosaur, you see. Well, that seems just fine. Seems just fine, chat. Martian, could you consider removing the list of opponents' cards? It clutters up the background of the chat. I could consider that. I could. Let's see. So what I would actually do is I would increase the opacity of the background of it. I would leave it there so that I can look at it on my screen. Because like I know that you guys have to see chat there, but for me, I still want to see what cards they have so I can talk about it. So I can increase the opacity so it's like easier to see the chat. And yeah, at that level, I don't think it's super useful for you guys to look at that stuff anyway. So I think if I made it harder for you guys to see what my opponent has played, at this point that would be fine, but I still want to see it. So what I would do is I would increase the opacity if I was going to do that. I know some content creators have a way to remove the opponent's deck on the screen, but not on the streamers. Yeah, that involves me capturing the game and the individual windows of the HS3 overlay, which I used to do. That makes it harder for me to do things like, you know, this. Like if I wanted to pull a thing over, I would have to like turn my desktop on and then pull it over first, which is how I used to do that type of thing, and I just don't want to. Oh, I do have a dirty rat. Look at me go. Last game I was like, I don't have a dirty rat. Lying as usual. None of you are Acid Moth. So there's that. Well, they have that now. We know that much. We know that much, chat. I dare you to play it. That's what I thought.
The living drop all kinds of things.
So there's this guy. I think I should take that guy. This can trade into that. It's already great. So unless I get Dreadscale, that's not Dreadscale.
Got anything good? Not him.
The new Draenei Legendary is so cool for slower Hunter decks. She really is. Really, very cool card. Gives you the gas you need in the later game. Clover Groom.
I'll blast you to smithereens. Let the hunt be.
Do I want Zephyrs? Probably. What is the currently best even and odd decks right now? Even Shaman and what? Odd Hunter? Odd Paladin? Guess it is probably even Shaman, isn't it?
I see you brought guests.
Job's done.
Odd, I think, is much more up in the air. I thought that Odd Hunter we played the other day was alright. Like, I thought that one was okay. Like, would Odd Paladin be that much better or worse than that? I don't think so. It's probably similar.
Hearty snacks.
Did they change Asima? Didn't your own minion not die when taking damage? Correct. They buffed Acid Maw. It only pets your opponent's minions now. Well, I don't love giving them a whole extra turn of Toy Boat. I'll say that much. Don't love that, chat. Don't love it at all. I do love that I get to do this next turn, though. Yeah, they did buff Dreadscale at the same time, huh? Yeah, neither of them hit friends now, which is great. Isn't that great, Dreadscale? I think Dreadscale Serpent Bloom is a much more acceptable version of Flurgle Toxfin. This is coming from a Flurgle Toxfin fan. I enjoy Flurgle Toxfin. You know, when Flurgle Toxfin was 3 mana and could be tutored with 1 card, it was a little busted. And I think the fact that you can't tutor these both makes these a little better. It's also in a different class that I think these are more acceptable in. You agree? What is my opponent gonna do? You're still mad about Dreadsteed? Word. You can with fetch. And I guess, but like that's not like
Never bring a sword.
okay, so for fetch, it's draw a minion, and if it's a beast, draw a spell, right? So you have to, for that to tutor this instead of possibly draw them, because like if you build your deck like normal, that's drawing, that's not tutoring. But you could build your deck to be, you know, 2 Serpent Bloom, 1 of him, and then 27 weapons. Are there 27 weapons in hero cards collectively available to Hunter? Yes, in which case if you ran 1 fetch, it would tutor this guy. So like that's a little different, I think. I guess I'm still doing it. Fine. There's no way there are 27 weapons. I bet there's more than like 7 weapons, right? So to get to 27 weapons, you need like what? Like between weapons and hero cards. So like, you know, 13 weapons is enough. Oh, and locations too. Yeah. There's definitely, we can definitely get it to the point where our single copy of fetch will always find Dreadscale and Serpent Bloom, but that's like, you have to ruin your deck to do that. You didn't have to ruin your deck to make Flurgle Toxfin work. I haven't played Wild in a while. What are the top decks? The top decks are... Marshy just refuses to be useful. I'm trying to think of the 3 most ridiculous things I can think of. You know, Corrupt the Waters, Infinite Shudderwock Shaman. Alright, that's gotta be number 1. Number 2 is Shadow Step Miracle Rogue with Auctioneer and Edwin. Alright. And number 3 is, of course, the Demon Seed. You know, it's broken. Alright. The last one is actually like slightly true. Like it's good. I don't think it's like a meme deck, but It's Mimi that people always think it's better than it is. What are the actual good decks? Here, extra large Highlander Paladin's pretty good. So like Libram Paladin and Imbu Mage are good. Pirate Demon Hunter. Extra large Shadow Priest. Demon Seed is good. Astral Druid has got to be up there. Astral Communion Druid is shockingly playable for what it is. I don't think it's one of the best decks in the game though. It's decent though. Is Hostage Mage still decent? You enjoyed that? I mean, it's all right. It's got kind of a target on its back. That was my favorite bug. Oh, it's got to be ants. But like, do I have a favorite type of ant? I don't know. I think ants are so interesting. I think they're very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Ants have like overall societal behavior is very similar to human behavior, so I just think they're really interesting.
Drop all kinds of things.
I also think that the living drop all kinds of things. So I have 11. Depending on what they give with this Muck Morpher, we might actually just win next turn. You think it's beautiful that Astral Communion Druid is playable? I agree. I agree. So, is Zephy's gonna offer me the Hex when he probably thinks he can give me lethal?
Your wish is my suggestion.
So, if he doesn't hit Glug, he doesn't hit the other horse, but it's going to, right? Like it's tutoring a beast. Okay, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. I'm sorry for all the lethal oneers, but I don't think it was happening. Are Marshy Zenny redeems working? Nobody knows for sure. Nobody knows for sure. Was I supposed to do something? I was supposed to pound it. Pound it, different shelf. My bad. Does my opponent just lose? What a loser! Oh my goodness, they don't call me MartianBuu for nothing. Alright. I'm the one that gets to silver eventually. Okay? Look at this. Whoa! So exciting. You know what Diamond Zephyrs means? Martian owns Corrupt the Waters. I think Corrupt the Waters is a fun card. I'm just tired of hearing people to tell me to put it in serious Shudderwock decks, like, because they think that I'm supposed to. That's all. Like, I would build a Corrupt the Waters deck for the fun of it. You know, I would do that. And I think it's great when other people do it. It's just there's a long history of people telling me, Martian, this is why you put Corrupt the Waters. Meh. Why isn't there any Serenite Chain Gang in your deck? Meh. What do we? Meh. How are you supposed to win with Shudderwock if you don't play him 400 times? You know Shudderwock is an amazing card when the general perception of him is you don't get to win unless he's played 10,000 times, right? So I also like the amount of wins people are willing to sacrifice to have a shot at winning in certain situations, right? Like, you know, people are willing to go -1 in hand to do something that doesn't affect 19 out of 20 games with Shudderwock, which is what you do when you run Corrupt the Waters in a serious build. If you put Corrupt the Waters in a serious build of Shudderwock Shaman, you are sacrificing, you know, consistency in most of your games because it is not going to matter in 19 out of 20 games. But you know, every once in a while, if you build a little too heavily towards the infinite, right, more heavily than you're supposed to for winning reasons, and you know, fine for fun reasons, every once in a while you'll put yourself in a situation where like Shudderwock will whiff its copies before its grumble when it really needs to do the opposite for when you're supposed to win. Like when you really needed it to go the opposite way, right? And even though that situation comes up so rarely, that like in a serious build of Shudderwock, the situations where you're like gambling on getting Shudderwock back with the grumble based off of its order with the copy effects, even though that comes up so rarely, people are still willing to hose all of their other matchups just to make sure that that one specific situation always goes exactly the way that you expect it to, that you want it to. So it's just funny. You're all funny. Guess. Actually don't know which one of these I want. I don't have the synergies for either. I guess I'll take this one. And should I coin Neophyte? Seems alright here. I just got back from surfing yesterday and have a crazy sunburn. How's it going? It's going pretty good because I don't have a sunburn. I'm sorry you have a crazy sunburn. I hate it when that happens. How was surfing otherwise though? Okay, fun please. I will corrupt my water on my own time then. Yep. Corrupt the waters is even worse, especially after one mana freeze copy exists now. Yeah, I mean, like, that hasn't really actually changed anything, but to your point,
Something to consider.
it's kind of like really highlighted that, because like one Shudderwock probably wins the game, 2 Shudderwocks, that wins the game. 3 Shudderwocks, okay, you're not gonna lose. So between the 2 icy things and the macaws, and the fact that you can play ETC at any point in the game prior, and it will probably give you either a cold, is it cold storage? Or will either give you a cold storage or a macaw to then use on the Shudderwock you played that turn. You know, like between all of that, you're gonna be able to get a second Shudderwock, and you don't need more than 2. You know, so most of the time. And you have so many, right? You have the macaw in the main deck, you have the cold storage in the main deck, you likely have grumble. And you have the cold storage and the macaw in your ETC, so you have so much access to a second Shudderwock. And if you're not building your deck like a complete potato, I say as someone who builds his deck deliberately like a potato a lot of the time, then that's going to be enough. So that's my story about that. All right, I'm happy I got that. What was kind of gambling on? Maybe this? Yeah. So let's go ahead and, like, I just didn't want to like run both of my 4/1s into that, you know. Tempo Orana. Against a deck like this, I don't hate it. Corrupt the Waters reached top 2 in one of Maxi's tournament last year. That means it's good in every situation. True. It's not about winning, it's about making your opponents hate you and the game. Well, I mean, like, that's totally fair. Like, I've played Shudderwock for those reasons also. It's just like, that's not the context under which I'm criticizing using Corrupt the Waters. It's when I show a clip of me getting hosed by having 4 copy effects in the Shudderwock, and instead of just enjoying like how funny it is that 4 copies triggered after the grumble triggered, or the Zola or whatever it was, I still got getting, this is why you add Corrupt the Waters, this is why you add Corrupt the Waters. No, that's not why you add Corrupt the Waters. Sometimes things just don't go your way. I bet you all of those people are running like, you know, really heavy builds, right? Like like a ton of 4 and up cost things in their deck, and they never have anything playable in the first 3 turns, and except Corrupt the Waters. And they don't look at their opening hands and think, you know, this is why I should add more lower cost things in my deck. You know, I bet you they don't do that. This is why I should cut Corrupt the Waters, because then I won't have Corrupt the Waters instead of whatever I need, like a Lightning Storm or whatever I need right now. I bet you they're not using that criticism. All they care about is that when they play Shudderwock, they will get it back, no matter what. Those are the people I'm criticizing. But it's a very fun card from a fun card standpoint. Like, I would play that. I would play Corrupt the Waters in a funny deck. I'm just not going to put it in a serious Shudderwock build, because it doesn't belong in a serious deck. It belongs in a Marshy funny deck. I really like, I think it was my first year of streaming. Yes. I think it was during Scholomance. I had a build of Shudderwock that, like, it armor vendored both players. Oh, it must have been during Darkmoon Fair. But anyways, it was not a try to make it tie deck. It was a armor so much that my opponent doesn't have time to kill me, and I have infinite boards deck. So like a board full of 6/6 Shudderwocks is going to kill your opponent in a few turns, even if they're at like 200 HP. So like I would just do that until until I had a nice buffer of armor vendors. And so sorry, what I was doing was I was using Shudderwock with Barista Lynchen in the pool, so that she would only get me back Shudderwocks. And doing that every turn, filling my board with a bunch of Shudderwocks, and giving me a bunch of armor, and my opponent a bunch of armor. And then if they cleared the board, I would play another Shudderwock, and if they didn't, I wouldn't. I'd just go face a bunch. And so I'd, like, once my opponent runs out, I have as much health and Shudderwocks as I want. That's what it was. I wanted the Shudderwocks back to my hand, but I didn't want them off the board. That's why I wasn't using Crumble. So I would keep doing that until my opponent didn't clear the board. Then I would hit them in the face with Shudderwocks. If they cleared my board again, I would play a new Shudderwock. I would play Shudderwocks until I had, like, you know, enough out. And then I would pet them in the face over the course of 10 to 12 turns, and I would win. And that was a really fun deck, because it used Corrupt the Waters to guarantee my Shudderwocks or whatever. But did I use Corrupt the Waters in that one? I think I'm mixing things up. I'm just reminiscing about a really fun infinite Shudderwock deck I had. So like you would just pet them with Shudderwocks for you know, 20 minutes, half an hour. That was really fun. Everyone in chat would think like, oh, the turn timer, you're gonna lose, you keep giving them armor. But it was a very calculated amount of armor I was giving them. I never once tied with that deck. If it got to that stage of the game, I would always win. You have plenty of time. That's my story about Shudderwocks, I guess. I have had, like, I played around a lot with Shudderwock around that time. Like, between, am I actually remembering a post Barons deck? I might be. I don't know. It's been a long time now. And I was playing with Shudderwock shenanigans all through there. Maybe that was a post Barons deck. I don't remember Flurgle Toxfin being in it. I don't know. Maybe I'll play games instead of reminiscing about old Shudderwocks. I had a lot of Shudderwock fun before Fractured and Alterac. Fractured and Alterac is when Shudderwock became like mainstream and all about bouncing Snowfall Guardians. But before, like, you know, especially after Primordial Dungeoneer came out and before Fractured and Alterac, that was a big pet card of mine. Did I play Corrupt Jades? I did play Corrupt Jades. That's what I was mixing up with the Barista Lynchen. Because, like, in that one, I was Barista Lynchening to not put the Jades in my hand with Grumble. And in the Infinite Armor one, I was running Barista Lynchen to not get my Shudderwocks off the board, because they were my win condition. I needed them to be out to hit my opponent. I have videos of both those decks, though. Like, I think that was when I was making really stupid looking thumbnails. So Shudderwock's stupid face would be in it from 3 or so years ago.
I see you brought guests.
Why not just run Platebreaker in that Shudderwock deck? That's what a lot of those chatters would say, Guapo. The reason I would not run Platebreaker in that deck is because I was going to win despite the Platebreaker. So why put in a Platebreaker if it doesn't affect whether or not I win or lose? Chat, my opponent just played Elven Archer and then hit themselves in the face with it. What, Sure, I can see that logic. Like, what's the logic of putting Platebreaker in? It doesn't affect whether or not I win the game. I need to hear that logic. I don't know that my opponent was expecting me to get right through these frogs. But here we are. I think your opponent is super bot or a mobile player. Maybe they are just trying to get themselves to 15 health as fast as they can for a quest. Bro has quest to complete. What's happening? I don't know. I'm sure Marshy deck played with enemy expectations, hoping they could win the race. Platebreaker makes them concede. Oh, okay, so there's that, I guess. Like the idea is definitely hoping that my opponent will stick around and enjoy my half hour of Shudderwock that I'm trying to do. But really, I just didn't want to lose games because I had a 5/5 in my deck. This was before ETC even. I would not have considered, like, I don't put cards in my ETC like that, right? Like, that don't affect the outcome of the game. Like, Platebreaker was not, there was no synergy between my deck and Platebreaker.